who have joined. They were there yesterday also. Motial ji ko bhi namaskar. And there is no need to introduce Vipin because I think now everybody is talking about Vipin in their house also yesterday. And we hope that we will have a very good session today. And everybody is aware about the topic. So let us not let us not waste any time between you people and Vipin. So I hand over the platform to Vipin to take up today's talk. Over to you, Vipin.
I think मोतियाल साहब का हैंड रेज है, तो पता नहीं वो.
Motial sir, please go ahead, sir.
मोतियाल
sir, please unmute yourself.
मुझे लगता है जल्दी में हाथ लग गया है.
हो सकता है.
अच्छा चलिए, ठीक है, फिर शुरू कर सकते हैं. फिर
या विपिन प्लीज गो
शुरू करिए.
आदेश है ना. ठीक है सर.
या प्लीज
स्टार्टिंग. ओके, आपको दिखाई दे रहा है?
अभी कुछ नहीं दिखाई दे रहा.
अच्छा ठीक है, मैं चालू करता हूँ.
हाँ, अब आ गया सर, आपका स्क्रीन इज देयर.
हाँ, मैं चालू करता हूँ.
ये स्क्रीन फुल हो जाए तो दैट विल बी बेटर. फुल, प्लीज पुट इट ऑन फुल स्क्रीन.
दिस इज फुल स्क्रीन.
Sir, Vimal ji, you can adjust your computer also. So if you see on right hand side, there is a sign which can expand the complete presentation.
Okay, so let me begin. There have been few people who have joined afresh today. I'm not going to deliberate tremendously on the slide like I did yesterday because this is a very complicated topic. The methodology for which is given in the Indian scriptures for learning anything new is Shravan, Manan, and Nidhi Dhyashan. So Shravan we all understand, reading, writing, all of listening. Manan means actually analysis or finding out different dimension. And the third one is the most important, which is called Nidhi Dhyashan. It means that you have to really spend time on that on your own and find out as to what is said, what is not said, what is right, what is wrong, and then repeat this whole process if you don't get it. Consequently, we will follow the similar thing, and I'll be very quick in the first 3 slides. And people who are interested can come back to me again. So I started with the Indian way of understanding consciousness, and and it was 5 seats or koshas, Panch Kosh Vivek it is called, which is written by Shankaracharya in the Tattva Bodha. And it says that we have 5 seats of the human body. One is the Annamaya Kosh, which is like the body is made of food. Within that, there is a body made out of the prana, means vital force or vital seat or energy. And then you have Manomaya Kosh, which is mental seat. It means that different thoughts which emerge with all the thinking that we do is actually from Manomaya Kosh. Vijnanamaya Kosh is where it becomes relevant for our topic, which is like it is, and these are one inside of the Sukshma and Sukshma and Sukshma. It means that this is third tier inside, which represent intellect, wisdom, enabling discrimination and judgment, and self-awareness. Now, this is part of it is covered by the Western mind concept. They don't talk about inner self. They only talk about the judgment, wisdom, and discrimination. Okay, so this is our and the final one is Anandmaya Kosh. They don't even know about it. So this is who we are. But what was said that we are not, what is human is not. Human is not all these 5 minds that we talked about. Okay, according to that, we are body, nor we are intellect, nor we are organs of hearing and all seeing and all of that, nor we are the we are the water, earth, fire, etc. We are pure consciousness. This is what is the reference in our old literature. Also, the consciousness in Hindi and Sanskrit are defined as Chaitanya or Chetna, and in the philosophy Chit. These are the derivations which are there about the consciousness in Indian literature. Then we talked about the Mahavakya or great sayings, and these are all defining who we are, and that includes the consciousness. And you will come to know the first one is from Chandogya, Tattvamasi, thou art that, or that thou art. It means you are that. Aham Brahmasmi, which is from Vridhyayana Upanishad, which says I am Brahma. And then the third one, Prajnanam Brahma. It means the knowledge is what we are. So we are actually intellect, consciousness, which means the pure knowledge. And then I am Atma Brahma, which is coming from Mandukya, which means that the self is Brahman. It means the consciousness is what is self. And then last one is coming from the Chandogya Upanishad again. It says that everything is Brahma or pure consciousness. There is nothing beyond that. And we will debate part of it if time permits today. What is the proof of that? The methodology, which is theory of knowledge of India, Indian system, is called that there are three things. One is pramata, means knower. Second one is pragyan, means the process of knowing, and then you have prameya. So prameya is something which you have to know, and the pragyan is the process, and pramata. So even if you don't have one of these, you cannot have the knowledge. And what they say, there is a beyond knowledge is the aprameya, and they say self is, Atman is aprameya. You can't know about it beyond the worldly knowledge. This is all again very profound, and we'll touch base. Then we came to Brahma. What is the Buddhist view? Buddhist says that there are three things which is the seer, seeing, and seen. Okay, and they say that the consciousness is like sword, that it cannot cut itself or illuminate itself. Right? So it is self-illuminating. That's what they say. So consciousness is self-illuminating. And then it has been said that we are not, there are sense element and there are objects of the element, which is like eye and visual form. These are objects. And then you have consciousness, which means what is that conveying. So consciousness is the third level. Then how it is defined in Western world is the awareness. Different words have been used, and they are different level of consciousness. So awareness, mentally alert, intentionality, self-awareness, and it is originated from the Latin word conscious, which means that knowing or with together with. Okay, and early usage in 17th century for consciousness, and evolution is that in 1600 it shifted to knowing oneself. Okay, then we talked about very, very important concept called qualia. Qualia is subjective experience. Okay, the subjective experience means read. For example, the read is something which you can only understand, and you cannot actually define in words what is read. Okay, again there is a research papers on this qualia. Then you have the headache or pain that you get. You cannot describe this in words completely. You can only say that I have pain, but what does it pain? People give the example like needles, like somebody is pressing somewhere. I mean, these are all not exact explanation. Taste of wine. Then we talked about different level of words which are there in distinguishing. We talked about the liveliness, we talked about awareness, we talked about the sentience, and we talked about the consciousness. The key capability liveliness is metabolism, that it reacts. Okay, second one is the awareness. In the awareness, there is a pure reaction. It means that amoeba, plant, animals, everybody can react. Then we had the key, sentience means pain or pleasure. Also, the consciousness means self-awareness. This is what we discussed and differentiated. Then we talked about one very, very important concept of hard problem of consciousness. This is by David Sharma, who is the professor in New York University. And he talked about the hard problem of consciousness and soft problem of consciousness. What he said is that describing a particular object as to what it is, how much weight, what is the causation, it means what it does, is the easy problem of consciousness. What is the hard problem of consciousness? How does it feel? Why does it feel to be alive? Why does red feel like red? These are hard problems of consciousness which science is not able to, as of now, put their finger on. And this is what is actually causing a lot of scientists to really take up the AI, the next step, and the building consciousness in the AI. Okay. This is what we talked about. Why it matters? Because AI is making good progress, and then it is being tried that AI should have the subjective experience. So there is your objective experience, means seeing the object, figuring it out, and all of that. Subjective experience is what happens inside you because of that. So that's why we want the AI to really have the subjective experience. Not the objective experience. Subjective is knowing the subject or the attributes, and subjective is actually how does it feel. Okay, so we talked about that there are deep neural networks. Okay, and we talked about I'll come to next one where we're talking about the neural network, large language model, that how the language capabilities have come about. And reinforced learning, we talked about how the algorithms learn by removing a word and then figuring out the correct meaning and inserting that and learning in the process and comparing with the original sentence. So to say, this is how the AI is learning as of now. Multimodal means you have the visual, you have textual, you have different patterns which are coming on, putting them together, and then figuring out what it is. That is what is the multimodal. It's not only text, it is not visual, it is not only the how we are seeing the behavior, but also a subjective experience is what should be generated by that. Then comes we described the human brain. We said 86 billion nerves, nerve cells, an equal number of non-neuronal cells. So you have neurons, 86 billion neurons in the mind, and equal number of supporting cells. And the weight is around 3 pounds, and it has got the gray matter and white matter. And the gray matter is for day-to-day functions like muscles moving, sensory processing, memory, emotions, and all of that, while white matter is the connections. So it is our nervous system that actually connects them. There are trillions of connections that happens across the billions of neurons. We talked about that. Then we had the deep neural network, and we talked about the different layers of the neurons, and as to when input come, how it gets passed to different neurons on different layers, and finally you get the outcome, which is like, and we also talked about as to what are the brain parts, so to say. Okay, we said, there are frontal, there are occipital, and all of that. There are 3 major part of the brain: cerebellum, and brainstem, and they are responsible for different functions. So we are able to understand the brain, but we are not able to understand the subjective experience. That is the conundrum. Okay, coming back. The next one, we talked about multimodal architecture, where we said that data fusion, multiple inputs will get fused, holistic understanding will emerge, and versatile outputs will come. That's what happens through our brain functions. So there are architectures there. Then we briefly touched upon the brain-inspired cognitive model. Now we'll come to the theory part of in the computer science. And again, I'll be kind of not getting into detail unless there is a request come for subsequent processing. But I will touch upon the brain-inspired cognitive model. Please switch off the mic, those who are generating noise. The predictive processing, there are three major theories which are going around as of now in terms of modeling the brains. The predictive processing, Bayesian brain model, global workspace theory, okay, and explain the perception, attention, decision making, but none of these actually explain the subjective experience. Let me come to the global workspace theory. Okay, this is one of the theory of modeling mind to generate the experience. Okay, it has got the 5 hypotheses, or they call axioms. These 5 are listed here, and I'll read them for everybody. Okay, the things are specialized processors. Okay, the brain has many unconscious modules for the task like vision, hearing, and language working in parallel. Okay, the core concept is this. Okay, what it says, please pay attention to what I'm going to say now, because you may not find it written anywhere. What it says is following: that if you let every neuron, or for that matter, every part of the system, of any system, transmit the knowledge beforehand, and then you focus on one, which you call workspace. Please switch off the noise. Okay, so you have, let me repeat, you have the knowledge sent beforehand to every neuron. And then so that is called broadcasting. Then you focus, that is called attention. And then you will be able to generate that experience. That's what they say, because it's like a theater. Okay, in theater, everybody knows the script. Okay, and consequently, whenever some dialogue comes about, everybody is able to understand. So they say, if your brain has got the prior knowledge of the subject matter, then it will be able to generate that kind of a holistic experience for you. Okay, how it does the attention is like a spotlight on the performer, then what happens? System-wide access is available to everybody. What is going on, and consequently, it can generate the model in which you can have this kind of experience that we have as of now, where you are able to see everything together. And when you focus on one, you are able to understand that in the holistic concept. Okay, this is what is the global workspace theory. Okay, as I said, if required, then I'll get into details of this. Not very inspiring, but it actually explains how brain may work, how you can model brain in our artificial intelligence or otherwise systems. Okay, by having a specialized processor, defining what is my workspace, broadcasting to everybody entire knowledge, and then focusing on one part and get the singular unified view of the entire thing. Okay, that's what is called global workspace theory. Okay, let me move to next one. This is more statistic in nature. Bayesian brain theory. Carl Friston is a very amazing character, and he is a medical doctor who has done PhD in brain science, also a physics professor who has published numerous papers. He is one of the most respected guy in the community of scientists, as well as the brain surgeons. And he has come about this theory, and what he says, his fundamental, let me kind of bring about what the core, and then we'll go back on the Okay, so what he says that first of all we form our worldview by having the information. The worldview means these are the things, these are which I am aware and all of that. And then throughout our life, we generate a estimation, and then we get something back and we generate error and we minimize error. That's how everything we do in life, and this is how we learn. By generating error, creating a mental estimate of something, then having the sensory inputs, finding out the error. That's why they say to err is human. So that's what on left hand side it generates it generates the estimation. On right hand side it actually gets into mind sensory inputs and then find out the delta, which is the change from the estimate. If you really look at it, good example that I have found is the cricket player. Okay, so somebody is bowling. Now, you don't have sufficient time to process every detail. So what happens is you actually you do the prediction where the ball is going to come. And then you hit it based on, sometimes there is an error in your judgment and you may be actually getting into difficulties. Other times you are able to get that in the ball in the center and you hit it. Okay. And you estimate that it will go for 6s. Or it go for 4. That's how the cricketers learn. All of us, whenever do. He says that this is not only true for a game, but it is true for our, the entire life. And he then talks about the beliefs, and then our neurons get set to that. And then there is a hierarchical organization which processes all of this. And then you have prediction generation engine. And then you update your beliefs through this synaptic plasticity. Okay, so it means that you see that back or hear that again, and then you are able to correct your model. Now, see, and I'll also touch upon how do we create our world knowledge in one of the 2-3 slides. So why it is called Bayesian brain theory? Because everything is based on mathematics of Bayesian statistics, right? I will come back to something that I have said in terms of how the cognition actually gets generated and how we create the world model and how do we interact and find out errors and all of that, right? Second theory, which is again mathematical in nature, very interesting theory, and it is actually being talked about a lot of scientists at this point in time. On one slide, if I have to give you, it has got 5 axioms. And these 5 axioms are something that you take for granted, assumptions which you will not question. They say that experience is intrinsically real and exists for itself. So you say don't question the experience, okay? The composition, experience has a structure and it's composed of distinct aspects. Third one is the information. The experience is specific, differing from the vast repertoire of the possible experiences. So it is like, you have information about all of that. Then it integrates the whole thing. Experience is unified and cannot be reduced to independent components. And exclusion, experience is definite and having a specific spatial and temporal grain. It means it is in. Okay, so that's what these are the assumptions and the concepts is. Now, to give you a really brief of this, what he has done, he has created a neural network, for example, because he wanted to keep it generic. So he said any network, but let us take for our discussion a neural network. And within the neural network, what causes what? So it's like you have in computer 001, if you give that input, you will get output as 1. If all ones are there, it is called AND gate. And if you have one true and true false, then you get true if it is an OR gate. Like that, he has created a model of the brain. And then he said, how many hops it goes and how many hops get actually integrated. And he generates something called phi. Okay. So remember that the phi structure. So larger is the phi, more aware you are of a particular qualia or experience. Okay. Right. So the phi structure, lower is the phi means lesser of the consciousness in the nature, wherever it is. So the higher phi means how does it get generated? If you have a brain structure, which is like, uh, uh, actually generating a lot of deep movement in the in your neurons in different layers of the neurons, so to say. And it has mathematical, because what it does is in time domain, it creates different structures. So I'll not go deep in detail in this, because otherwise we'll miss our timeline. Okay, so this is a leading model because it is mathematics, and it has got those axioms which we talked about that they take for granted, and then they actually generate the speculative edges. So to take away, higher the phi, higher the consciousness, lower the phi, lower the consciousness, and that's how you can measure. But can it explain the consciousness? Answer is no. It's only a model that can actually tell you whether the more consciousness is there or less consciousness is there. Now, I talked about the panpsychism some time back. Okay. What is this panpsychism? This is another concept. Okay. So let us dwell very briefly on this. As I said, you have to have pen and pencil or written so that you write down some of these words. Panpsychism is a theory which says that pan means everywhere, large coverage. Psychism means the consciousness or awareness or mindfulness. All of that is psychism. So it says that every rudimentary element, every element has got a non-zero phi. Okay? Like photodiodes, for example. Everything has phi. Only thing is the non-living things have a smaller phi, and the living things are having higher phi, and the human brain has very high phi. Phi is that character phi, okay, of the Roman character. So this is what they say, and consequently they say consciousness is physical. It means that it is not something which is originating outside the matter. It is actually physical in nature. Okay, influential but not controversial, but controversial, and it does not explain the experience step, but it allows you to model and figure out as to what it is. We talked about qualia, okay, and the phi and qualia, again, the subjective, so purely subjective, we talked about that, red of the red, and they say it is intrinsic. Now we will get into what is this intrinsic. Intrinsic means it's a property which is there that you will experience when it is there. So these are not the physical ones, but these are the experiential ones. So these qualias, okay? And redness of red, pain and headache, we talked about, the taste of chocolate, the warmth from sun, taste of coffee, sound of violin notes. All of these are example of the experience only, things which we call qualia. And as I said, this is a hard problem of consciousness, and the qualia are central to the consciousness studies. And David Chalmers, what he calls his hard problem of consciousness is because how it gets generated, we don't know. Okay. Okay, I'm taking a breather. And why? Because so that you can align yourself to a new concept. Okay. A new concept is the cognition. Okay. Cognition. What is this cognition? Okay. The cognition is This is called 4E cognition. 4E means 4 ways in which you actually collect the cognition. Cognition and is something which is physical world related. So the difference between consciousness and the cognition is physical world related. It is not like hard problem of the consciousness. It is this soft problem of consciousness. So what happens? 4E, embodied. Okay, embodied cognition. The framework expands to understanding of the intelligence beyond the brain. And embodied means within the body. Okay, within the body doesn't mean only brain. We'll figure it in the subsequent slide. Even our gut has got the intelligence, and this is scientific, and which is outside the brain, but within the body. So they say that anything which is in the body is embodied cognition. Embedded cognition is with that your body plus your surroundings. They also constitute your world, your view, and that is what is the generate the cognition. Okay, then inactive cognition. Inactive cognition, you learn or you learn and you create the basic worldview is by interacting. So if you switch on something, or you talk to somebody, or you watch something, these are all you're interacting with the environment, and then that generates cognition, new ideas, okay, new way of doing things. This is all is what is inactive cognition in action. Okay. So if you simply, I say up till now, cognition within the body, cognition while from the environment, and cognition from action. Then comes the extended. Now cognition extended is what? Mobile phone. Now mobile phone is part of your cognition. Okay, whether you like it or not, this is your computer as part of your cognition. These are all tools. You keep all your things there, and you are able to draw them out, and you are able to recognize so many things. Okay, deeply intertwined with the physical being and surroundings and interaction. Okay, and so here what we are doing, we are explaining the embodied artificial intelligence. The rise of embodied AI signifies a shift from purely algorithm intelligence to the agent like robots. Now they're saying that embodied cognition inside the robot, if we build it like how we learn, then we can make these robots more intelligent and more they will be able to recognize and argue and figure out more and more things like real world sensations. They will be able to have the biological system mirroring. They will be able to work more like us. Okay, that's what is the embodied AI in robots. Now we also talked about the gut-brain axis. Okay, so we have the brain and we have the gut. Gut is, where a lot of bacteria live and all of that. The total system put together is called gut-brain axis. And most of the decisions that we make, actually, there is a dialogue that happens within gut and the mind. Okay, and all those microbiota acts as the second brain for us. So all those bacteria also influence the cognition process, right? So this is what is in that cell, the intelligence, cognition. And I will repeat, cognition is for objective knowledge. Cognition will increase in the robots. And in our case, we don't have mind only, we also have the gut, right? Now, this again is a theoretical concept based on the human brain, so to say. But you don't have to pay too much attention to this beyond that it is a self-maintaining organization and identity without subjective ownership. Let me come back and in detail, little bit of detail. Anything which has got self-production, like your cells, they have self-production. Then they are operational closure happens. It means they work and then they die. And then they reach to their boundary, and finally they come in the circulation process and get again generated. This is autopoiesis. This is not only in the human body, but this is self-creation and self-production and self-repair. This is possible in machines, being modeled in the machines. It is particularly very successful in the networks. Okay, the communication network, where we maintain, we also generate path and structures and all of that in the network, and then we take them down, we again make them available. So autopoiesis means without any external involvement. They are self-sufficient and they are able to do their job without any external thing. This is called autopoiesis, a model. Okay. Next is functional intelligence versus subjective experience. I think we talked about it, so I will not dwell too much, but the only thing I'll say, behaviorally, it means like acting like you have the experience is not experience. So if you have real experience, then it is subjective experience. Otherwise, you have the behavior, similar behavior. You can report almost anything that you want in AI. It will never be subjective experience. Consequently, this hard problem of consciousness will remain. How do we generate in the machine the consciousness? Okay, the functional intelligence does not replace the conscious experience. Now, if you really go and ask AI, what is it about the weeping? It will explain to you. Weeping means this. But does it feel? Answer is no. That's what it is, the functional intelligence versus subjective. Okay. Now what we'll do? We'll quickly get into objective reality and subjective. So the artwork that you would have seen. So there's a stone here. This has got shape, size, mass, chemical composition, universal laws governed by the physics, chemistry, and biology, independent of the observer, exist whether perceived or not. This is what is typically the physical view that we say and can be modeled. Okay, but when you look at the art piece, and it happens with me all the time, I'm sure it happens with you, we generate some thoughts. For a child, it could be a toy to play with, it like a ball. And somebody might see the sculpture, sees the art in this. That they feel the emotion of that particular sculpture. They feel what it is. And geologist sees the history of this particular rock that we are seeing here. So these are all subjective experiences of the same object. Could be different in different context. So this is what is the objective reality and subjective interpretations of that. Okay. So we are seeing one tree, but everybody is thinking differently. Somebody is thinking, oh, it is tree, it's good for nature. Somebody says, okay, when will it give apple? I'll eat it. Somebody is thinking how much money it will save and all that. Okay. That's what is the difference that we see. But these are all experiences that we go through. Third person versus, now this is very commonly used, okay, term in the cognitive science. Third person versus first person experience. So third person perspective, is something that externally observable. Okay, so here what we are doing, we are observing something, we are analyzing something, we are finding data. We have the neural properties, the algorithms for the input and all of that, right? Then we have the governed by the logic and computation physics and independent of internal experience. So it is external view which can be done by AI system. The human, they have the private, subjective, and inherently internal. It encompasses consciousness, awareness, feeling, and qualia. The thoughts and emotions and sensation, these are all internal to human experience. the personal context shaped by the individual history, culture, value. So people say, then why it is not exactly the same? Why three people are seeing three different things? Because they have different context built at that point in time in their mind. So personal context, okay? And there is still unexplained gap that we are not able to fulfill through science so far, called Heart, Problem of Consciousness by David Chalmers. And also the test. What is the test of objective versus subjective? Is the physical or computational activities will describe as to what it is. Like they are brain activities, they are computational processes, behavioral output. Okay, whereas the subjective experience will say, how does it feel? It feels like. So they will say the word what it is like. Okay, and emotions and perceptions and personal thought. These are all subjective. We are not able to have we don't know how to represent them also at this point in time. Okay, now what scientists are debating. This is a big debate which is going on. And I talked about panpsychism, and then I talked about the phi of the things which are not alive as per us, and their phi is very low. But the debate is whether everything has the fundamental experience, which is fundamental, like how time and space are considered fundamental. Is the experience or the qualia is also fundamental? So some people are saying, yes, it is. Okay, the water molecules, how do they wet? When they wet the skin, you actually have that experience. But the same water, when it becomes the solid, you do not have the same feeling. Okay, so the flow generates the wet feeling, right? And then you have the open question as to why does it feel like that? Same H2O feels differently in different compositions or structures and all of that, right? So this distinction highlights a core philosophical debate, whether consciousness can be fully reduced and explained by the emergent properties of the physical system, or if it represents fundamentally different class of phenomena. It's a different class of phenomena, and it means that you cannot generate one from another. This is the debate. Emergent means if you make the AI very, very complex and computationally very superior, and you give all the memory in the world, and then it will actually generate experience from point of. This is the emergent. The fundamental, explanations, they say no, it cannot. It is actually fundamental. So once you bring all these panpsychism molecules together, then their and combined experience is what comes in front of you, and that generates in your mind the subjective experience. That's what it says. Right? So so what we'll do is that we will break, because I don't want it to be too heavy. I have 3-4 slides that I'll take up subsequently, and then I have references. How do you study further? So what we'll do, we'll take a break now. It is 4:43, and if time permits, we'll pick up subsequently. Is that okay, Anil? Anilji?
Anilji, are you there?
Yes.
Anilji?
Should we take a break now?
Well, the thing is that I think it's better you finish, because then if you take a break and there are too many questions, maybe we'll not be able to complete this.
All
Then
right. Yeah.
we will left. Only
Better to finish.
6 slides are left now only. So
Okay, so I'll quickly go as I'm going and come back again. Fine, thank you for the feedback. So emergent in complex systems, I talked about that the structure, behavior, and functions can generate the subjective experience. Is the in the complex system, they say the all the parts put together will generate the experience, which is like emergent. Then we talk about is consciousness fundamental? and I talked about it. So there are consciousness as emergent says that arises from the complex interaction of the physical matter, often linked to the computational process in the brain. What it is like experience is a byproduct. They say that's what is the emergent. They say consciousness is fundamental, say a basic feature of reality like time, space, or energy, not reducible to physical computational processes alone, and could not be foundational dimension of the cosmos. Okay, that's what the fundamental people say. So scientists are actually all emergent consciousness people now shifting a little bit from left globe to right globe. That's what is happening. The now comes the possibility of a new principle. This is very exciting. And in fact, I will take it up. This slide particularly, I'll take it up after the question and answer, because this talks about the new future and what can happen. Okay. So then what I'll do is I will take up after the question and answer, and I will say recent advances which are there. Okay. Between, so long-term memory systems. Okay. They say AI models now integrate sophisticated mechanism for training, retaining, and recalling information over. We say that if we keep the memory for very, very long time on the same subject, same person, then we can have the self-modeling algorithms and autonomous agents, and then we'll have the self-maintaining autopoiesis systems. Okay, this is what is being tried out in terms of increasing both the power of the computation and the also memory size. Okay, now I'm taking a breath and I'm talking about what policy guys. Okay, so break from the previous thought chain to a single slide which said what policy guys can do. Okay, policy and strategic implications. This is not related to the basic nature and all of that. So focus area, to regulate behavior and risk. Okay, so what can be regulated is safety, reliability, transparency, and explainability, accountability, and fairness. Okay, this can be regulated. So anything we say, we can talk about these. The address observable impact. So only based on impact, we can talk about the ethical guideline, data privacy, economic and social effect, societal effect. Okay, what we cannot talk about in the policy framework, areas to avoid in policy are do not conflate intelligence and consciousness. Don't bring about all these things in your policy. Bring about only impact and bring about only explainability, referential integrity and all of that, right? Avoid metaphysical debates. The debates will continue by the scientists, philosophers, but the policy should be only taking behavior and the impact as the fundamental for implication. Okay. And core conclusion also let me bring up. Intelligence is not equal to consciousness. Behavior is not equal to experience. Subjectivity is the main hurdle. The fundamental gap between functional and intelligence and consciousness remains unabridged as of now and is challenge for AI. Hence the topic, right? Final frontiers of AI. Okay. The references is Carl Friston. I talked about Carl Friston's work, and you can find this work easily on the net. Okay, Carl Friston. I talked about the medical guru, scientist, surgeon, and also the physics, professor. I think he lives in London somewhere. And then you have the global workspace theory by Dehani and Nachachi. Okay, Tononi is well known for information integrated information theory. Tononi's work is very, very widely used by scientists as of now. And then you have embodied all of those, cognition that I talked about in a paper by Varela and others. Then there is a book by Clark, Supersizing the Mind. David Chalmer, and also there's a good guy, Indian origin, I don't know, he may be about third or fourth generation outside, Arun Seth, Graziano. Also, lately I came about Donald Hoffman. And I will refer to the Donald Hoffman work in my explanation. Okay, let me say it now. What he says is that we all are living in a headset. Okay, headset. All of us, this brain and mind and everything is a headset. And headset has nothing to do with the reality. And he has brought about the mathematical equations. So, and you will find his work also very, very interesting. Now, coming back to the last slide, let me finish that as well, right? No, that cannot be finished as of now because that will come out of the debate as to what or new possibilities are there. Okay. But to bring about how the consciousness has come up as of now, so I will take half part of the slide as well. Newtonian mechanics and the electromagnetism has been discovered, and then subsequently you had the modern physics, relativity and quantum mechanics, Newton and others, not Newton, our Einstein, and then computational and theory of computation have come about. The final frontier remains the consciousness. Challenge, possibly needing new principles will be required. What are those new principles? I will take it up after the question and answer. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Vipinji. Anilji had some urgent work, so he left a message for me that I can continue after this with the question answer session. Now, of course, as it was yesterday, there are people with a lot of questions. And I'll start with the first question from Mr. Mathur. Mathur Sahab, your question, please.
Thank you. Very illuminating talk we have heard from yesterday and today. You have mentioned clearly about consciousness, but where is the place for emotion? This is one point that I want to clear. The second point you mentioned was the gut-body interaction.
Access.
Yes.
So can you explain that?
Sure.
These
I think
two
the first one is the feelings. Okay. There are feelings in our mind that get generated. So coming from the perspective of the Indian philosophy, the feelings are product of the mind, and they are part of our manomaya kosha, where we have the feelings, and they are actually part of the experience that we go through, which we cannot explain to anybody. Consequently, they are part of our experience, which is subjective reality, and because feelings cannot be described in the objective fashion generally. So that's what it is. Okay, coming back to gut-brain axis. There are papers which have come about, and I was talking to a scientist, which says, yes, it is a published work for a very long time. Why are you surprised that the gut has got the neurons, which actually work very well with the mind, and they generate the total intelligence of the body. So there is billions and billions of the bacteria, they live in our gut. Okay, they live in our gut. So multiple type of bacteria, and sometimes you would have noticed that you get a feeling from inside. Okay, the anxiety, without really any cause. Now, sometimes it may be happening from your gut. In Ayurveda, it is very clearly brought out long back that if your gut is clear, your diseases are reduced tremendously. Okay, so this both I have explained. Next one please.
And this is also where the gut feeling word has come. Gut
Yeah,
feeling.
you're right, sir.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, the next question from Mr. Rakesh Mehrotra.
राकेश जी नमस्कार.
सर नमस्कार. बहुत अच्छा लगा आपका लेक्चर. बहुत मेहनत करी आपने. Really wonderful. A lot of new concepts, a lot of new things which we never knew it. आ गया है. So अब इसको बैठ के थोड़ा सा digest करना पड़ेगा. So gut will also play a big game there. Anyhow, now coming back to that,
I can help your gut and digestion.
Oh, sure, that will fine. You stay in Noida.
Yes.
So we can dine somewhere together.
Yes.
Okay. Now coming back to the two interesting things over there. There is a book by Rajiv Ji. It is a theory of consciousness, and that goes to the Aurobindo. And Aurobindo was guru of. He is a student of Swami Vivekananda.
Yeah.
So if you want that, you please go through that, and I can share the book with you. And that will also add to our knowledge system, how the Indian knowledge system was working and all those things. That's one part of it. My main worry is different. We are all talking the theoretical part of it, practically what's happening around and what we have done. And that's the major issue of the concern. The basic issue in the present day of the artificial intelligence, it is on the two basic philosophical things. I'm taking 5 minutes time. I think nobody will mind it.
Ashok ji, namaskar.
5 minutes time, sorry, because we have limited time. We have already reached 5 o'clock, near 5 o'clock. Please, brief question.
So what I will do,
so that there is an answer.
Yeah. So what I will do, I will talk to Vipin ji separately because
Okay.
Welcome.
because these short things will not do.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a much wider thing of the national interest. But if you don't want, I will keep quiet.
You were referring to this book, I think.
I'm not referring to the book. I'm referring to the thing what's happening around. I'm just telling what Vipin ji has done it. Listen, there is a general tendency to cut me short. I don't mind it. But the thing
you said 5 minutes.
We'll do it in the end.
If you have a short question, please ask it, because 5 minutes is too long.
Okay, Vimalji, what the national policy is doing with respect to artificial intelligence and where we do stand? Short question, and I want a precise answer, and where we are getting wrong.
Number one, we have to have a policy framework and regulation of AI based on the impact and based on the behavioral risks. That is what we require minimum, number one. Number two is that if I have my way, which I don't think I have, I will start an institute of consciousness studies, where we bring everybody together. We can demand that as DCIF, because that is what is the future of AI, in my assessment.
So I think you are missing a vital part. The part is that we want a sovereign AI, and that its definition of sovereignty has definitely been changed to the extent it doesn't mean anything at all.
I agree.
That requires the correct this thing. So we are
I agree.
We are closing our eyes on that. We are closing our eyes on that, and we are going ahead, and we are inviting the East India Company back to India.
No, I don't want to do that at all. That's the reason I'm talking about this subject now. When everybody is talking about applications and all that, I'm talking about the 4 core fundamental research which is required to be done, and I'm with you. You understand it, okay? So let's move forward.
Yeah, thank you. Rakesh ji, I mean, I fully agree with you that Aurobindo's philosophy on that, I think we all need to study that, so that all those people who work on that need to study. I fully agree with you. So the
only
next
problem
question
that I see, Vimalji, is that fundamentally everything that I have drawn is from the Vivekananda, Gaudapad, and Sankaracharya and all these people.
But there is no fundamental difference.
Yes, but
Superficially,
the
they may be
problem is
different.
we are not able to blend that with the current research, because the research community is totally isolated. Okay, so I think you can go ahead, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Srivastav, N.K. Srivastav. Sorry.
Oh my, yeah. Okay. Now you can hear me.
Yes.
Please switch on. I'm almost dying to see you.
Okay. All right. I may look little, not prepared, but okay. I'll switch on my.
All right, no
camera
worries. You
too.
live in United States. Okay. Namaste. Okay.
Namaste. Good morning. Good evening.
Yeah, thank you for connecting from US.
Yeah. I think we are talking after 8 or 10 years, and if for everybody to know that I and Vipin know each other for last 40 years, from 1982, from our ECIL days, connecting back. So my question is straightforward. First of all, thank you very much for this presentation. It was a very interesting presentation, and I have been studying AI for last couple of years, and I am also do consulting and coaching on AI. But my focus has been more on utilizing what already exists, not focusing on what's coming up. And in one of the conversation I had with a group of MIT professors last week was focused on this, that triggered my thought. And then I saw this, I said, okay, let's see what research has been happening. So I think there is a lot of research needed on this consciousness about how to bring that on that. My question is that where does the consciousness resides in the body?
Fantastic question.
So yeah, go ahead.
Fantastic question. I think it has been actually explained by the Brian Greene. I have already put on the group a video from Brian Greene, who is the connected with the World Science Congress, and he has. So what happens? Okay, so picking up from him, what is said is very amazing. The one is panpsychism, that it is fundamental, and it comes to your mind as the collection is one view. The second view which is the real Vedantic view, which is now getting into focus. Okay, the Vedantic view is your mind is illuminated by the knowledge which comes from outside. So it's like a mirror, and your body actually experiences the whole consciousness. It does not generate the consciousness. That's what they say. So the short answer will be that we don't know where it is. Number two is that there is a holographic projection that happens. The Maya, and I have some slides on that, but I'm not going to present. The Maya, which is like called the a power of Brahma. It means the power of consciousness. One of the power is to veil. Veil means hide the reality and allowed only Vyavaharic reality. So all of us, what is being debated, that all of us have same projection system, or as Don Hoffman says, same headset. And the headset has icons, and these icons mean something for us. Everything we see is an icon. But the fundamental reality is like two-dimensional information that you get in a DLP projector. So DLP projector doesn't have 3D at the core processing. It generates lasers, throws that lasers at the mirror. The mirror actually reflects that, and you get the image form, which is almost like 3D. This is what is the reality according to the holographic principles, where 2D information gets into 3D. That's what is happening with us now. That's what is one way of research. Second one, now will you call it inside your brain, or will you call it that the projection has come from where? For you it is on the wall or but actual that information which was somewhere else actually got projected here. That's how the reality is. And this is why, because this is where Vedanta and the science merges together. The brain cannot handle such a large 3D object, time, space. It only can handle probably causation. There are three fundamental things according to Vedanta, which with every part of the world is made: time, space, and causation.
Correct.
And the Vedanta negates all of these. They say this is reality. This is Vyavaharik reality. There is Paramarthik reality, which is different from this. And the Paramarthik reality actually gives this information, which you are able to use as part of your headset in this world. That's what is reality. So where it lives, definitely not inside your body. Okay.
Yeah, because that's what you say normally, that when you die, the consciousness is not there. So
this is called, NK, it is called Turiya in Vedic reference. And Turiya is always there. It doesn't die, doesn't remain. So your Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti. So it means that when you're awake, when you're sleeping, or even when you're in deep sleep, the only element which remains is Turiya.
Yeah.
And Turiya is what is consciousness. Yeah. So even if you're sleeping, whatever you're doing, this is a constantly unchanging Turiya, which is the reality of the world.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Yeah. Very good. Excellent. I'll stop here. Give chance to others.
All right. You can go on.
Next.
Right? That's why.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Srivastava. Next question from Mr. Minocha.
Thank you. Excellent presentation as ever. My question is regarding, they say, past life regression. There's one book called One Life, Many Masters. It is written by a doctor and psychiatrist. And he has treated his patient in US by taking him to past life regression. So does this also fall in the framework of the research we are doing in this?
Yes.
But, and any view on the PLR?
On
past life regression?
Yeah. Let me talk about it. Okay. As per science, there is no backward arrow in time. It always moved forward. Okay. So if you're talking about physics and science, answer is very clear. There is nobody going back. It is too complicated. You can become father of your father, by going back. This is too complicated, and time doesn't have a back arrow. But how can you do that then? The cessation of time and space is possible through the self-realization in Vedanta, where there is no existence of time, because time is part of our headset. Okay, the space is part of our headset, and the causation is part of our headset. Headset means this Vyavaharik reality. Consequently, if you are able to detach yourself from the body-mind and dwell on your pure nature, according to, now I will actually ask your pardon because I have done none of these. I'm not I have not experienced it. But theoretically speaking, this is what you have to do to travel wherever you want. Sorry.
The point I was asking was, actually patients have been really treated by the doctor.
Yes. Okay, let me tell you that.
You are having odd behaviors, very complicated.
Right.
And then
from medical science,
take him to PLR and bring him to a healthy state.
I think
that means you are erasing the past.
Yeah. That one I know. And that is also being researched. This is in brain sciences possibility. So what happens is that you have different, and this has been done by EEG, which is a headset that you put in a head, and they are able to figure out which portion of your brain is actually sending the pulses of the ions or the electrical signals, and also the I think it is called MRI. Okay, these two we are able to get as of now. If you ask somebody to read a small little sentence and you are in MRI, whether every human being, same part will get illuminated. And using AI, we are able to again generate back the sentence. This is what is achieved as of now. It means what? Your brain actually processes all of that, generates the zeros and ones or in your neurons, and sends it to all the parts which are required specifically, and then generate that experience for you. Okay. So what is possible is, if I eliminate certain part of the brain, then I can have a different behavior. This can be done by two methods. One is actually physically by removing that. Second one is reprogramming through the, somebody comes and explains to you day to day, and then you actually start believing him and you change yourself. So bipolar patients have been treated, by such methodologies, and that removing the impact of past life, past time, not life. Okay.
Is the past life
Even-
Akashic
even-
records?
Even past life regression process is a scientific process now, because it's being used to treat patients. But maybe it's not within the domain of AI. As
No,
such.
I
Yeah.
think, what they say, and this is proven scientific fact,
Yes.
that brain is very good at hallucinating. Very, very good at hallucinating. So if you believe in something, you start hallucinating. And science says that when you are hallucinating, it has to be controlled to reality. Otherwise, you will go, and AI is actually hallucinating as of now, as we talk. So such hallucinations is to be controlled. Otherwise, AI will go mad. People go mad, start believing something where the brain also start hallucinating. So whether regression is hallucination or actual science, I'm sorry, I don't know, and I believe it is not. Yeah.
Since you believe in Vedanta, it's a known fact that the past, impressions of the past lives remain on they're sort of superimposed on the soul.
That's
So-
different.
So we cannot get rid of that unless in this birth, you take care of those aspects. That is where these regression processes, past life regressions, have been helpful to people. And this basically is not our concept only. Even in so-called advanced countries, they've been doing this.
Now let me come back to same answer that I gave before. For that, you have to nullify your body and your mind and remain in pure conscious state to go back and forth and all of that. That is one way of reaching the stage of being Brahmagyani. Second one is the DNA transgression. So your DNA gets formulated and it goes from generation to generation. Your prarabdha, which is like your past generation karma, will continue to be with you, so that when you go back and come back, whatever is will come back, your new birth will happen according to that. This is the Siddhartha of karma, which is there, universally accepted as long as you have this body and mind. So this is the Vedantic answer. The physics answer is yes, the DNA gets formulated. DNA has the past knowledge, and it gets fired accordingly. And that's how the evolution actually happens, apart from the natural selection.
Thank you. Well, I think Mr. Mirocha has given us a good topic for next time. We will think about it.
Sure.
Next question from Mr. Purvar.
Yes, Mr. Purvar. Namaskar.
You are on mute. Purvar sahab, you are on
Thank
mute.
you.
Ah.
Mr. Vipin, let me first compliment you on your excellent presentation. Are you able to see me or listen to me?
Yes, yes.
और सर आपका स्माइलिंग फेस एंड जुल्फ जो है वो नजर आती है तो मजा आता है.
Thank you very much. And thank you for your compliment. And I also compliment you for your presentation,
Thank you.
although without understanding much of it.
Thank you.
Among 24 attendees or participants, I think I am the only person who is technology illiterate. And looking at the widely read people here, I think I am a complete illiterate. Anyway, my very simple question from a layman's point of view is, we come across a lot of artificial intelligence material in our day-to-day life, on television, on WhatsApp, on other social media. Now, how to differentiate between the artificial intelligence and real intelligence material? That's a big challenge to all of us as a layman. And I just want to know how to differentiate between these two and how to protect ourselves from the onslaught of artificial intelligence to deceive you. Thank
Okay.
you, Vipin.
Thank you, Mr. Purvar. One thing I'll tell you, the most Brahmagyanis, including from South, there is a great Brahmagyani. He was totally illiterate. Okay. So you don't have to be literate. You don't have to even learn anything. You have to just find out who you are and then attempt on that, right? That's what is the way to learn entire Vedanta. Because in fact, Vedanta means end of Vedas. Okay. And end of Vedas is when you are able to actually forget everything that you know. Okay. Also, it is also says the final frontier of the knowledge. It means Vedanta, end of the knowledge. Beyond that, there is no knowledge left. That is what is Vedanta means. And nowhere, in fact, it's a big problem that we know so much, right? Because we have to unknow a lot of things. So if you want to go Vedantic side, that is the answer. If you want to go to scientific side, I think there is a truckload of material which is available. Search only the scientist of repute when you are listening to something, right? Figure out in first 2-3 minutes. Coming back to your question about the AI onslaught, to more than 10,000, applications which are being touted as the AI. See, there are general AI, and then there are a specific AI. So if you are looking for general AI, there are 3 or 4. They're good enough. But specific to a particular task, like medical surgery, there are that is something where one has to search. So I don't know. So you bit of a research is required.
Sorry, Vipinji, I think what Purvar was trying to, how to distinguish whether this is a real material or this is an AI generated.
Oh, I see.
I think that was your question.
That
I
is what I
don't know
think.
the answer. Only thing I know.
Vipin has explained it very clearly. That is what I want to know. Because I'm a layman, and most of, as I told you, most of talk that you have made was excellent as far as the presentation was concerned. But I admit that most of it has gone over my
अरे
head.
सर हम हैं आपके चेले
अरे
बताइएगा
नहीं, आप चेले नहीं, गुरु हैं भाई.
अरे सर छोड़ दीजिए ओके राइट नेक्स्ट
अच्छा
तो
would you
आपने
like
मेरा
to comment
क्वेश्चन
on-
तो आंसर किया नहीं.
No, I
How
mean,
to
would you like to answer that question?
I will answer that. Of course, answer is it's like movie star. When you see them in picture and when you see them in the open, you can find out it's same, but it is not real, right? That's how if I don't know the answer. That's why I'm giving you this answer. If you find something too perfect, no color bleeding, nothing, and only perfect background and all that, there are chances that it will be AI generated, and the real life has got its own nuances. That's the only way I differentiate. Otherwise, there is no software that I know which can actually do as of now.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Now, next question from Mr. Vijay Madan.
Arey sir, namaskar, Vijay ji.
Namaskar. Thank you very much. I think I at least I know 0.00001 point of Brahmagyan today. But the only thing is, I'm kind of delta zero or something like that. Now, when I was listening to it yesterday and today, because I am a practitioner of technology at the moment, so I know artificial intelligence a bit and all that, but not the Brahmagyan that. But couple of things came to my mind, which can I ask you later or a mail or personal discussion. The thing were, what is a coma state of mind? What is the inactive this thing? then the difference between samadhi and meditation by jnanis rather than coma or something like that, when they go into what is the purpose of ventilator, which is substituting when somebody is in coma or when somebody is talking about assisted living. Then you talked about, my question was about sleep and dreams, which you made it clear today automatically. So reality and myth also comes to my mind. So predictive thinking is another thing which comes to my mind. So these are 5-6 terminologies which I have no pointed question to you, but I have been thinking since yesterday you started this talk and all that. So how to differentiate, what is the limit of one, what is the unlimit of second, when we are in coma, where is the consciousness, and all those things came to my mind. So you can just summarize a couple of things out of that.
There is, okay, so what happens in the brain, I actually left it for the last, and I think it is good that I left it for the last. What happens, what is the possibility of you having the real feeling experience, right? Where from it gets generated? There are few theories. One of those is actually microtubules by Roger Penrose. Roger Penrose is a Nobel laureate. And he has brought about this along with an anesthesiologist, those who give anesthesia, the theory of the microtubules. So in our brain, there are neurons and there are linkages of those neurons. In between, there is a 25 nanometer sized protein that is called microtubules. And the microtubules are believed to be generating the folding of the proteins, right? So what happens is when we think, we talk, and we listen and all of that, it generates a pattern. And it is believed that pattern generates the consciousness by the science. There is no, beyond that, we have not gone. So I don't believe that it actually does, but that is one probable candidate, which they say can actually generate using quantum physics after that. Okay, so we talked about quantum physics. So they say that the collapse of the waveform happens and you generate all of those experiences. Now, of course, I don't know the answer, but this is one possible. So what happens is when you are in anesthesia, it does not generate actually those kind of patterns. So anesthesia doesn't block your eye optics. It doesn't block your ear. It doesn't block even brain portion, but actually it blocks those microtubules vibrations. That is one thing. So when you are in coma, your vital functions are all working, but your thought process and your oratory and visual activities get reduced completely. That is the difference between coma and whether you are conscious at that time. The answer is yes. Otherwise, if the consciousness goes, if you are from your body, you will not be able to do any function whatsoever, including digestion, including anything. So the consciousness remains, but that consciousness is not good enough for you to generate thoughts, bodies, and speech and all of that, right? That's what I think.
Does it mean that we lose our sensing functions, some of this and all that at that point?
But you can't make sense of it. It's like a noise.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Now, there's a question again from Mr. Srivastav. Is it by mistake or you have...
No, it is not a question. I wanted to respond to the question of that somebody was asking, how do we recognize if something is produced by AI or not produced by AI?
Very good.
So I deal with that. So Vipin said is very right that if it is perfect, it is very well polished, no mistakes or things like that, you can recognize it. But then there are AI tools itself that tells one is called, I think, GPT-0, other is called as originality.ai. So there are already tools you can apply those tools and to the content what you have, and then they will tell whether it's generated by AI or it is generated by human being. So I just wanted to respond to that.
That's great. Good to know. But do you know the principle by which it does it?
No, I don't know. I don't know the principle. I'm mainly the user of it.
Okay.
I'm not the researcher, so I don't know about that part.
Okay.
Acha, now Vipinji, one from my side, there are some thought processes which say that consciousness is like radio frequency signals, which is they're available everywhere, and a particular set has to tune to that, and how good the set is, accordingly the tuning happens accordingly. So, what's your thought on that?
This is the example given.
Yeah.
Where this is more like, I would rather give example of the sun and illumination that happens, and in the mind it get illuminated and then subsequently get projected.
No,
So this
what I
entire-
want to say from the AI perspective, do you think then the AI will reach that stage sometime?
Well, I think that some version of consciousness, not exactly like human consciousness, will get formulated and will be available in the AI in coming times. It will not be like how we are feeling, but it will actually emulate and simulate the brain thought process that we have. That's what I believe is going to happen.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I think we have exceeded our time today. I mean, like yesterday, I mean, it's a very interesting lecture, and I'm happy to know that all the people who joined in the beginning practically remained with us yesterday as well as today till the end. And now to close this, of course, from my side, I would like to thank you and all the participants. Now over to Raviji. He'll propose the vote of formal vote of
I
thanks.
think everybody should come with their camera on and all that and take a snapshot.
Yeah, that also we should do.
Yeah.
So request everybody to switch on the camera.
Whoever is present, kindly switch on the camera. Rakesh ji,
Pawan Garg साहब, मोतियाल साहब थोड़ा नीचे कर लीजिए कैमरा.
we are taking photographs, sir.
राकेश जी सेंटर में आ
विजय जी.
जाइए.
Okay.
माथुर साहब थोड़ा सा दाएं. हाँ.
Great.
मिश्रा जी, विजय मिश्रा जी. हाँ, yeah, right.
Right. Thank you. Thank you very much, Vipin ji. It was a great evening, and on absorbing on a weekend, everybody continued to listen, getting insight from your lecture yesterday, and then equally good today. Of course, I have started developing some interest in this subject, which was not at all rather I was never near this subject anywhere. But from today onwards, for me, I am telling that I will start developing some taste of it, because it is not that it is impossible for me to learn these things.
I'm sure.
Right.
Asha, I would like to mention one thing, if you permit.
Yeah.
Ashok Seth ji is there with us, which is a rare honor for all of us. So Ashok ji, say something.
Ashok,
Sure.
I think he is the veteran of telecommunications, BSNL, director.
great, sir. Great to see you.
You're muted, sir. Please switch on your audio.
Kindly unmute Ashok Seth, sir.
No, you're still on mute, sir.
Still you are in mute, sir. Ashok Seth, sir, kindly unmute yourself.
Unmute कर लीजिए. Unmute कर लीजिए, please.
आज तो unmute कर सकते हो.
टच करिएगा स्क्रीन को, unmute आ जाएगा.
He said how to unmute. By lip reading, I am telling you.
Yeah, if you touch the screen, there'll be a second icon of the mic. Touch it.
Your mic must be showing crossed. Just press it once.
So, The first icon is camera, second icon is mic. So touch mic. If you touch the screen, it will come on the down. Or with mouse, you click, then it will come.
If you have someone in your house, you can take his help.
Yeah, I think we can do it later then.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
One small, I think, Dr. Fate, we are not able to hear. Vipinji, you can remotely or answer my question about Samadhi that was missed. Thank you.
Yeah, I think Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi, these are 3 stages of meditation. And there are, like any other schools, there are views on that. The Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi is actually used to actually unblock your energy in the body so that you are mentally becoming alert and all of that. Also, the Samadhi Avastha, if you reach and you are able to actually get outside the body, then you can have the Vedic, state of Gyan. It is not necessary for everybody to do all of that to get the stage in which you can actually reach that. It's not mandatory, but it is definitely big help. Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi of Patanjali Yoga Sutra.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Ashok, sir, have you? Okay, fine.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I see where we could. Oh, Vimalji, now you have come. Vimal Chawlaji, you wanted to speak? Vimal Chawla?
Now I think I'm on.
Yes, you are on now.
Right.
Thank you, Vipin, for a very illuminating talk. And I remember the time I spent with you when I used to be a devotee, and also some time when we were in Tel Aviv together.
Yes.
And,
yes.
I mean, I very much like the discussion on consciousness, but I am more in actual implementation, including, for example, the databases and, for example, the prompts and applications which come out from that. So I think you have gone into the mechanics of the human brain and how AI is trying to mimic it. And obviously it raises the question about consciousness also, which is a very debatable subject. Whether it is actually there or it is only the circumstances, as you described, which make what the consciousness is, what a person feels, how he is come about in life, and what the circumstances are for around him.
Yes, you're
Anyway,
right, sir.
That's an open discussion.
Yeah, you're right. But what I'm seeing is the trend, I can tell you definitely, is that earlier on, it was all materialistic explanation, objective explanation. There is a trend of actually shifting towards the philosophy, medical science, and the physics coming together and debating all these topics. And I can send you some video of the scientists that I have posted on the group for your consideration.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
So we have come to end of 2 days long seminar where Vipinji has enlightened us with the new kind of AI, which we are thinking AI is different, and that is a practical AI, and this is theoretical AI, which you have explained to everybody. And I feel that this lecture had been one of the best lecture we have listened for the last every month we are having webinar. With these 2 webinars both days, it has been wonderful. Really, I thank Mr. Vipin for giving a wonderful lecture on the frontiers of AI. I also extend my sincere gratitude and thanks to all the participants, those who have come here, and Sunday evening almost 27 members were there, and almost all veterans of telecom and data. Thank you very much once again, all of you. And we will again request Vimalji and Vipinji to come back. And many doubts have come. So perhaps next month again we will have one more session, and you have to make yourself available for our enlightening our group. Thank you very much, sir.
I will be there, and I think now that all of you are aware, please watch my video on the YouTube when it gets placed there, and note down the questions, and then I can customize the interaction to give the maximum benefit to all of us, this group. Right?
We'll put this both the days lecture on my YouTube. Perhaps you will be getting it by today evening or tomorrow. Or anybody wants a copy directly, not on YouTube, any difficulty, because it's a long videos, then we can send you also in person. Thank you very much.
Actually, sending will be a bit of challenge because it will be a large size.
It's a huge file.
It's better to put it on YouTube.
We will put it on YouTube by today late evening.
Now write my name in that, and also write the final frontiers of AI, so that people are able to search it easily.
Right, sir. Right.
Yes. Really, all the
Because
best.
this data processing will take some time. So by late night or early in the morning tomorrow, you will be getting it.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye for now.
All right. Thank you, Pawanji.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank
NK.
you.
Nice seeing you. Seth Saab, namaskar. See you again.
Bye.
Seth साहब को नमस्कार.
सेठ साहब को नमस्कार. I think sir आप
नमस्कार,
TRC
sir.
में थे, satellite cell में थे.
Yes, I'm able to see so many faces which are familiar to me.
Yes, yes.
My name is KK Minocha. आपको याद नहीं होगा. आप satellite cell में थे ना TRC में?
मैं satellite में था, and after that, of course, I'll speak to you later.
Okay. All right. Bye.
No, I was in satellite communication, and then of course I held a field job also in Bangalore. And
Okay.
beyond that, I think in 1996 I resigned from the government, and then I
Okay.
worked with various companies, including Qualcomm
Okay.
and Reliance
Okay.
and
Okay.